welcome back to Fandom from Afar. Well, not much has happened since last time we recorded. We were hoping for some big trades. There was big trades in the NBA, but not for the Nuggets. We were hoping maybe to get an impact player in the first round of the NBA draft, and we traded out of the first round and got a couple second-round picks. But we did sign a few veteran minimums, so that's exciting. We'll go over that in more detail, and then we'll get to a fun conversation I had with my buddy Mason, who's a diehard Knicks fan. He is obviously flying high still from the Knicks championship, and I had to hear his origin story and kind of more details about his fandom. I just thought that was appropriate with the Knicks being our new NBA champions. So let's get in the Nuggets first, and then we'll get to Mason. Let's talk about the trades. There were so many rumors flying around. We were potentially going to trade Jamal. We were potentially going to trade Aaron Gordon, Cam Johnson, Peyton Watson. Everyone was on the table except for Jokic. And nothing happened. And it's obviously hard to say how much or how close the Nuggets got to any of those trades coming to fruition. But really, it seemed like the rumors started dying down pretty quickly, so I'm not sure if the Nuggets were just asking for too much or if there just wasn't interest in the guys. Obviously, each player has his strengths and weaknesses, but I think the league kind of knew that the Nuggets were trying to cut salary, and so maybe the Nuggets were, I guess, kind of bargaining from a sense of weakness, and the league might have been trying to take advantage of that. Now, the league is kind of on hold right now because of LeBron. He has not decided where he is going to play. It's looking like either Cleveland or Golden State, but I think there's still quite a few teams holding out hope that maybe he'll pick them. The Nuggets being one of them, I think they have one of the smallest chances, but from a basketball standpoint, it would make a whole lot of sense for everybody. But it seems like LeBron's kind of leaning towards, I want to enjoy my last year, hang out with my buddy Steph, or I want to enjoy my last year and kind of make it a storybook ending back in Cleveland. So everybody's waiting on LeBron, and then everyone is kind of waiting on Kawhi Leonard. He was traded to the Raptors, but now the league has said that because of the investigation into his Clippers contract, that trade is on hold because the Raptors would have to take any punishment that would have been given out to the Clippers, and so obviously the Raptors are waiting on the trade to see what happens. So the league is kind of on hold. I think once those two things get situated, the Nuggets still could pull out a trade, whether it's Cam Johnson or Aaron Gordon. I really don't think they're going to trade Jamal Murray anymore, but I still think the Nuggets could do something, whether it's big or small. I would consider it big if we traded one of our starters. Now, we still have Peyton Watson, who has not signed his restricted free agency contract. And there's a lot of interest in Peyton around the league, but the Nuggets have the right to match any deal that he signs. And so Peyton is obviously trying to get as much as possible, but with everyone being in a salary cap crunch, he's, I think, struggling maybe a bit to get that giant contract that he was hoping for. So that's kind of at a stalemate as well. It's really a wait-and-see game right now. I still think that something could happen. I think most likely the Nuggets are going to try and cut some salary still, which really at this point, I would rather them just run it back. And if the season's not working out the way they wanted it to again, then you try and cut some salary. But at this point, I say run it back and hope we stay healthy. But as far as trades go, we'll have to see. Now, the NBA draft, I was excited about the draft. This was a deep draft. There was a lot of guys in the Nuggets range or even before if the Nuggets could have traded up. People that I think could have helped the Nuggets, whether it was just achieving our goal, becoming more athletic. There were some guys that I think were even more than just athletes, like Cameron Carr, who ended up going to the Lakers. I think he would have been an ideal fit. But the Nuggets ended up trading out of the first round. They did end up taking 2 second-round picks, and they did get athletes. I'm happy with who they got in the second round. It's just that I feel like we could have possibly got some of the guys I was looking at in the first round, but I think we can all agree the Nuggets know just a little bit more than me. So the guys they did take, Trevon Brazil, he played for Arkansas. He is a 6'10" pogo stick, basically. I think I heard he has like a 40-inch vertical. So just him being a lob threat like that is going to be really something Nuggets haven't had in quite a while. And then Bryce Hopkins out of St. John's, he has really been impressive in Summer League so far. He's kind of like a do-it-all hustle guy, but I like the way he plays. So if he can bring some energy off the bench and just some athleticism on defense, then you can't ask for much more out of a second-round pick. So although I was disappointed that we didn't take anyone in the first round, I am happy with who we got in the second round. We did not accumulate any more assets or trade any of our guys for draft picks, so it really was just the 2 second-round picks. So again, you'll see a theme here. Not much happening for the Nuggets on draft night. Now, signings. We have made a few signings. Nothing big. Obviously, we've talked about that, how the Nuggets really can't do anything big until they cut salary. We brought back Tyus Jones. Right now, he's our backup point guard. He is a solid veteran, but he is more of a third-string guard. If we go into the season with Tyus Jones as our backup, I'll be surprised and I guess also a little disappointed because Tyus Jones, like I said, he's solid. He was a better player when he was younger, obviously. He's only, I think, 31 years old, but he's definitely lost some of his athleticism. But as we saw in the playoffs last year, he can handle the ball, he can get into the lane, and obviously the Nuggets need that. And so it could be worse. If we would have let him go and only had Jamal Murray on our team right now, I would be panicking. But at least we do have the safety net of Tyus Jones on a minimum contract. Can't really ask for more. Probably our best signing so far in my eyes is backup center Marvin Bagley. He was the number 2 pick in his draft, so he had high potential. He's kind of bounced around the league a little bit, but I think for what the Nuggets need, he's somewhat perfect. He can play both center and power forward. He's athletic. He plays with energy. I like him. I think he'll be a good backup center. It didn't quite work out with Big Val last year, so here I go again, get my hopes up for a backup center, which when you back up Jokic, it's the hardest position in the league because comparing yourself to him is going to be a no-win situation. But I think Marvin has skills. I don't think he's more of an offensive player, but I think he can be a big part of our bench unit. And I'm kind of excited that we got him, especially we got him on a minimum contract. So hopefully he can kind of show out and be good value. And then our third signing is Alpha Diallo. He was the European Defensive Player of the Year. I had never heard of him before, but if he is the anything Defensive Player of the Year, we will take him. The Nuggets need defense. The Nuggets need athletes. So I couldn't tell you anything about his game. Seems like he's a pretty athletic small forward, and if his focus is on defense, then we will take it. We proved in the playoffs last year that we had almost nobody that could play defense, and so with all of our signings, our draftees, we are adding athleticism, and I like that. So we still have a couple open roster spots. I hope we bring back Peyton Watson. I hope we bring back Spencer Jones. Obviously, we're kind of on hold for LeBron right now. That would be the dream scenario. I just think him with our starting 5, him with our bench unit, it just fits so perfectly. And then obviously watching 2 of the smartest basketball players ever in LeBron and Jokic on the court together would be beautiful. But most likely, we are probably going to trade somebody to cut some costs so we can avoid the second apron. I hope not. My hope is that we bring back everybody, give these guys a chance. They really never got a chance last year. It was always someone was hurt, if not 2 starters were hurt. And so this group really didn't get a shot. I was excited about this group last year. Injuries are terrible, but who knows? Maybe we can get some injury luck and this group can win us a championship. That's what I'm hoping for right now. So that's the quick version of our offseason so far. There really hasn't been much happening, but that's okay. I think the Nuggets are in a good spot. Let's get to my conversation with Mason, a diehard Knicks fan. All right. We have Mason back with us today. Mason is probably the guest who's appeared on the podcast the most, and you know we had to bring him back because his team, the New York Knicks, just won the NBA championship. Welcome back, Mason.
Appreciate it. Still definitely sounds crazy hearing that.
Yeah, I say it probably doesn't seem real yet until you see the banner raised.
Just started. It's like 25 days ago or something. We won a championship. I'm like, wow, we're still.
Did you get to
enjoy it?
Did you watch the parade?
I did.
Nice.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's just an hour-long celebration of being like, oh yeah, we're awesome.
For sure.
Well, cool. So we will eventually talk about the championship, but I want to hear about how you became a Knicks fan. There was obviously many years of non-championship seasons, and so I want to hear kind of how you got started being a Knicks fan. We'll talk about maybe any players or games that stuck out to you back then, and then we'll work our way up towards this magical year.
Yeah, so I may have told the story before, but NBA 2K13 was the first 2K I ever got, and me and my brothers that's all we played. So I just basically picked the Knicks because, one, I like Carmelo. He was fun and flashy. And then they just had all the old vets that were still good, and the Knicks were good in that game. It's probably the only year in a 10-year stretch that they were actually decent. So I mean, they had Tyson Chandler, old Amari Stoudemire. Jason Kidd was like your sixth man off the bench. I mean, they just had a bunch of studs.
Oh, yeah, they were legit.
They also had
year.
the J.R. Smith, the Iman Shumperts off the bench, the young guys. So I just fell in love with them. It was a fun team.
That's funny because isn't that how you picked out the Giants too? Because you really like Saquon on the football video game?
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. Well, you had good timing. They were good that year.
They were good. And my brother would always pick the Thunder, and that was the last year of Harden on the Thunder. So, Russ, KD, and Harden. It was competitive, but I mean, he definitely had a good team.
That's awesome. I love the origin from the video game.
Yeah.
Well, so out of that crew, who you said you like Carmelo, anyone else kind of stick out of maybe they weren't the best player, but that you just loved them?
I mean, there's a ton of guys. I think Marcus Camby. I know it's an odd one. I just love big defensive guys. He was a beast. Steve Novak played a long time for the Knicks. And in that game specifically, I think he was like a 53 overall, but he had like a 99 three-pointer. So, it was like a cheat code. He was terrible. No one else knew about him, but he just was 100% from the three-point line.
That's awesome.
It's crazy.
I remember Novak. I remember him just being like the
corner.
Typical like three-point white guy shooter, and he was awesome. Was that the year they went to the playoffs? Like, did they have a good run?
I think they were a first-round exit, but they were like a 5 seed or something.
Well, that's a Carmelo special.
Yeah.
It
was good compared to where they were. So.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just still a bitter Nuggets fan. What about, so you started liking them then. Can you think of maybe a certain game or even maybe it was the playoffs that year where you kind of locked in and you're like, this is my team?
I mean, I think it was that game was kind of sparked the interest, or that year for sure. And then it was a really rough couple of years. And I was kind of peeping back and forth. My parents weren't big NBA fans. My brothers weren't like begging to watch it either. So it was kind of just me looking and keeping up with the Knicks. But really it was when Porzingis got drafted. 2016 was when I kind of really became a fan. I love Porzingis. I think his rookie year just really cemented me as a fan for sure.
Oh yeah, he was so unusual.
He was super fun to watch.
7'3", but he could dribble like a guard and shoot. He was like Wemby before Wemby.
Yeah, there were stretches where he had like a crazy block on the other end, comes out and hits a transition three, and you're like, what am I watching? This guy's huge, and doing this.
That was the first I really noticed him too. Is he had like that knack for kind of the weak side block when people didn't see him coming, and he would just swat it into the stands. Like, yeah, he was good. Did you buy any jerseys or memorabilia for those teams like that you still have, or like how do you feel about those teams now? Well,
basically, I still have some jerseys. I have Mitch Robinson, a jersey when he got drafted, a rookie Mitch Robinson jersey, which is pretty cool. I have a Frank Ntilikina jersey. I was a big Frank Ntilikina fan.
Yeah.
I think it's worth more now after the finals, but like you couldn't have paid someone to take it off of you.
That's awesome.
2 months ago. And then again, I just have a bunch of Knicks t-shirts and stuff. But
I love
Frank Ntilikina was the first guy that I was, because again, once Porzingis was there, Ntilikina was the next year. Man, I was so bought in. Of the 2018 draft class, we got the worst one. But
oh yeah, Frank.
At the time, I thought we had won the lottery.
He was supposed to be like 3-and-D guard, kind of ball handler. Like he was supposed to be good, but doesn't work out. So you said there was a few dark years. Or were there a team that maybe you had high hopes for that you're like, ooh, we can actually contend? Or did that not happen until this most recent group?
I think the Julius Randle, when we signed him.
Oh yeah,
that was the stretch. We made the playoffs the first year, and I think just Julius Randle being there, we won. I think we were maybe a 6 seed, and we competed in the first round, and we're pretty good. Then the next year we got better, and I thought we had a decent shot to be better, and we just kind of plateaued as like a 500 team. But still, Julius Randle was kind of like the savior for a few years.
Randle seems to be a beast wherever he goes for the first year or two, and then for some reason falls off, and every fan base falls out of love with him, and he gets moved on. But yeah, I remember him. You and I talked about him quite a bit. He was good. Well, let's talk about getting more towards this modern team. I guess, when did it start kind of coming together as the team that won the championship? Who was kind of the first piece?
I mean, I think Brunson was one. Was
he the first piece? Okay.
Yeah. He was the first guy that signed. In that same season, we had traded for Josh Hart. So, I mean, our core was him and Josh Hart. We had Isaiah Hartenstein for a little bit.
That's when they started building the Nova Knicks.
Yeah. That's kind of when it started. I mean, the past 2 years, we got Cat, we got Mikal Bridges.
OG.
And OG was like 2.5 years ago. So, I mean, it's all been pretty recent.
So it really did start with Brunson.
Yeah.
And obviously, what are your thoughts on his contract? Like, that was the whole big thing, that he took a big discount, and obviously with the Kawhi scandal, then everyone's like, oh, how did they pay him under the table? But it really just seemed like maybe he took a discount because he wanted to be with his dad.
I think so. I think it's just they took a chance on him initially. I mean, they took him, on a big deal, and all the media shamed the Knicks. Like, hey, you took a backup point guard on a huge deal. When in reality, they just had the same thing work out with Randall.
Yeah.
And they took a guy on a contract. They're like, hey, you can't pay Julius Randle $20 million. He brought you to the playoffs like 3 years in a row, single-handedly.
Yeah.
So I think the Knicks kind of took a shot at him, and maybe kind of, it's kind of a mutual respect going back and forth. But
yeah, and like, it wasn't like there was a ton of other teams trying to give him the max. Because what is he, 6 foot?
6'1".
Like, I feel like
shoes.
He still has to prove himself at that size. Yeah. But hey, you guys were smart. You did it.
And we'll see what happens, because I think, the Celtics, all the stuff that just happened, they broke up Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown and Tatum were making 70% of their salary cap.
Oh, yeah.
How can you win with that? I think Brunson realized you got to have pieces around you, because it's just how it works nowadays. You got to have depth.
I was trying to look through our old texts, and I couldn't find it. But do you remember how you felt for the OG trade?
I think I was a little underwhelmed. I was a big RJ fan, and I like Quickly, but obviously that worked out good. Yeah.
And then what about the Bridges for 5 first-round picks?
I'm still ecstatic about it.
Yeah, because if they're an end of the first-round pick, like, those players hardly
it's going to be
ever
worth
work
nothing.
out. Yeah, exactly. So I'm just so impressed with how they built it. One thing I was thinking about today: do you think you guys would have won the championship with Tibbs as your coach still?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I don't think our bench would have played any minutes in these games.
It seems like
most of our comebacks came off of our bench.
Yeah,
we had pieces that made big plays.
It seems like Mike Brown just kind of had that magic touch. He knew exactly how to relate to the guys, how to get the most out of them. And
I also don't think we would have made any in-season moves. Like, Shamet basically made the team because Brogdon retired before the season.
Oh, yeah.
2 days before the season. So, we wouldn't even have had Shamet, and then we went and got Alvarado for nothing.
Oh, yeah. Just a couple
Tibbs would have
second-round
never
picks
played Alvarado if we had him. So, yeah, definitely impressive.
It's so fun to look back, because you're like, oh, that move worked out great. That move worked out great. Yeah,
thanks, Malcolm Brogdon, for retiring.
Yeah.
Shamet, who worked out great.
That would have been a big difference, because obviously Brogdon, just the way his last few years went, he probably would have been hurt most of the year. And that would have been
obviously,
a big
he was really good.
But, okay, well, so let's talk about this year. It wasn't like you guys were dominant all year long, and everyone was like, oh, look out for the Knicks. Can you think of a time where, because you watch the games, where someone like me who's just casually paying attention wouldn't notice, but can you think of a time maybe where you're like, oh, this team actually, they can contend, like they could win it all?
Yeah, I think the Christmas Day game, they played the Cavs.
Okay.
And I think we had a couple guys out of our starters, and Tyler Kolek had to come in and play real minutes and drop 20 points, 10 assists. We just lighten it up on Christmas. And of course, it's a game when everyone's watching. And I think all of our role guys had big games. I'm sitting there okay, if our role guys can step up in these huge games, I know our starters can bring it. And again, it's a 7-game series in the playoffs.
Yeah.
We've been successful before, so.
Yeah, it's got to give you confidence when your third-string point guard comes in and puts up
That was the
numbers
biggest killer last year. When last year in a big game, our bench comes in, automatically, when Jokic comes out, it's the bench minutes kill you.
Disaster.
It's hard to watch. So it was really reassuring to watch the bench come in and play good minutes, and they could play a whole quarter with just the bench, and we compete. That's obviously good to see.
And you guys were solid, but what'd you finish at as the 3rd or the 4th seed?
Third seed.
3rd seed? Because I remember we got together when the playoffs first started, and I think you were excited, you were hopeful, but there was always the big bad Thunder and the Spurs looming and stuff like that.
There was always the big bad Cavs and Celtics too.
Yeah,
in their own side. I wasn't even
thinking
about. I was thinking about maybe the second round.
Yeah,
before you could even get to the West,
but then they just didn't lose, except for the night that we got together to watch. Yeah. But what is it about this team? It's obviously the starting 5, but what what clicked? Like, what made it different where they just could not be beat?
I think, Karl Anthony Towns took a step back in his role, but it almost improved the team. He was almost a point forward instead of a center. I think it helped everybody just get spacing. We have a lot of, like, OG can drive every time, and he's willing to drive too. We kind of lose his value if he just sits in the corner, which he can shoot well too, but I think it allowed everybody to have more of an offensive game. Even Mikal Bridges, who can, he had a game in the playoffs, he had 0 points, and everyone's like, what the heck, man? The next game followed up with a 20-point game, and it looks like he wasn't even missing. You're like, what happened to Mikal Bridges? Again, the paint just got spaced out, and it's a one-on-one. He has a mid-range jumper. He can still. He was in Brooklyn. He was scoring 24 a game.
Oh yeah,
2 years ago.
He's got skill.
Forget, like, he can score. So
I was really impressed with OG. Like, obviously, I watched them. The farther and farther they went, the more I watched them. I was like, man, I had no idea OG was like such a well-rounded player. For some reason, I was just thinking of him more as like he can play good defense and he could maybe drive a little bit, but he does everything. Like, he's pretty amazing.
Cat really isn't a back-to-the-basket player.
Yeah.
He's not, and I think they were trying to play that with Tibbs, and I think we kind of realized, like, hey, space them out, almost run a 5-out. You have 5 guys that can shoot, 5 guys that can drive. Like, let them all do their thing. And
yeah, I was impressed with Cat. Like, I've never been a huge fan of his game. Like, I think I told you when they traded for him that I'm not a fan, but I was impressed with him. Like, like you said, he stepped back to the right amount to fit in with everybody. He wasn't trying to be the star. He wasn't even trying to be the second best player. He just did whatever was necessary, and it was perfect. Like, I couldn't help but be impressed, even though I'm not a huge Cat fan still, but he's good, and he was perfect for you guys. So I can't say anything.
Game 1 of the finals, he was awesome on defense. I was like, what happened to Cat? Like, he used to be an offensive all-star, and now it looked like the opposite. It's like, he shot 5 shots and was playing great defense. Like, his whole identity has changed that series for sure.
So the starting 5 is obviously ridiculous. Who were some of your favorite bench players, and like what did they bring to the team?
Obviously, Mitch Robinson's fun. I feel like he just brings energy, much different than Cat. I feel like obviously the free throws, you hate to see the missed free throws. There's stretches you're like, I can't believe this dude plays in the NBA. He shoots 25% from the line or something. But everyone had their role. McBride was awesome during the regular season. Had a couple good playoff games, but the finals didn't do much. But again, it was every night it would be a new guy would step up and give you 12. Yeah. Give you 13, like, great points.
It just seemed like all the pieces fit together just whenever you needed them. Yeah. Man, I'm just jealous. I'm in envy that I got to feel this way a few years ago, and I miss it. Well, what about, so remind me their path. Did they start out with the Hawks?
They did.
And then they lost a few games.
They were down 2-1. And then they won like 13 in a row.
Yeah. They had that huge winning streak because who did they play next?
Sixers.
They didn't lose. And then it was the Cavs. They didn't lose. So, yeah, they just really turned it on after that Hawks series. Was it anything different that they were doing, or was it just, do you think they just matched up really well with those teams and just dominated?
I think the Sixers Embiid was definitely banged up.
Oh, yeah. Shocking.
He played the first game, and they were pretty good.
Yeah.
But I think Maxey, again, he couldn't get to the rim. We put a big wing on him, and it,
got those 6'9" pterodactyls on them.
And I think the Sixers will be different now, but they didn't have a guy besides Maxey or Paul George was streaky. They had Edgecombe was a rookie who was streaky.
Sure.
They just didn't have anybody that could consistently score on us.
And it's one of those things where you guys swept both teams, so it looks like it was easy, but you guys may have just been that good.
Yeah.
I felt the same way when the Nuggets won. Everyone was like, oh, you didn't play anyone. It's like, we made them look bad. Yeah. Like we were playing really well, but I don't know. It's all revisionist history. But then when you guys were in the finals and it was Spurs versus Thunder, did you have a preference on who you wanted to play?
I definitely wanted the Spurs.
Okay.
Just because experience.
Yeah.
I think it does matter.
And I think that came into play.
I don't think if it comes down to it, like Brunson can't guard anybody on the Thunder. I think he could play softball on a guy like Champagny or somebody. I just think the Thunder are experienced, and Chet wasn't going to have a bad series again. I was like, I'd be afraid of them. So I think it definitely worked out. So but you never know. They were playing good, so you never. They easily beat the Thunder. You never know. But
they're so good for being so young.
Spurs won. I was definitely excited to see that. So.
I'd say you must have been confident going in. And then how did you feel as the series went on? Like, it seemed inevitable towards the end, but in the beginning, were you nervous at all, or was it kind of playing out like you thought it would?
I mean, I think we were the underdogs still to the media, so it kind of felt like there was no pressure. Even though we've been sitting at home for a week, and the Thunder they just beat the Spurs. They beat the Thunder. We were kind of the underdogs, so I was like, it was like a quiet confidence. And then you beat game 1, and you're like, okay, okay, that's one game.
Yep.
You won game 2, okay. And it felt like we weren't playing great either. I mean, it was Josh Hart scoring, I think, 20 points in both of those, in one of those games.
Oh, yeah.
Shooting great from 3. I'm like, that doesn't normally happen.
Yeah, because Brunson didn't really do much in the first 2 games, right?
Yeah, they were playing well on him.
And then he just took over.
So like winning games that we felt like we shouldn't have won, I was like, okay, this just feels right,
I was so impressed with the Knicks fans, like, taking over the San Antonio arena.
It's crazy.
Like, especially, what'd you guys win in game 6? 5? When it was like more than half the stadium was Knicks fans. Like, they just didn't want to miss it. They basically were like, if you weren't in this, the 150-mile radius, they were voiding your ticket. Yeah.
You're not from Texas. You can't come to this game.
Did you think about trying to go?
I don't have the money for that.
No,
I wish.
That probably sucks.
The tickets were like $10,000, the cheapest ticket.
Well, yeah, that's why you can't blame the Spurs fans. It's like, oh, well, I could pay for my next 5 years of season tickets by giving up this one game.
No, I was enjoying it.
Yeah, that's cool. So just looking back on it, what do you think you'll think about this team 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Like, how do you think they're going to be remembered?
I mean, obviously the stars, you'll remember the stars. I'll remember I think the roster construction at the time. I think it was perfect. We were challenging the Celtics. We built a team to beat the Celtics and the Cat. Like we had a team that was fit to beat everybody on our side. And then again, we get to the finals. It's a 7-game series, best of 7. I think we matched up well against the Spurs too. But the years before we had lost, it felt like those teams just still had an edge over us. And we couldn't stop them.
Sure. No, yeah, the roster construction, like the moves that we talked about, there's everyone kind of built towards the next one, and they all fit perfectly together.
It's risky, but again, how much we had been 10 plus years of taking lottery picks and it was nothing. So it's at some point you got to take a risk and just go all in and see what happens.
Because this happens, and if you get one championship, that feeds your fandom for 50 years. Like,
and the core's still together for sure, at least next year. You have a chance to run it back through almost your entire roster.
So how you feeling about that? Because we were talking before we were recording. No, none of the top teams really did anything extraordinary.
They really lost guys more than they got guys.
Yeah, like Boston giving up Jaylen Brown. So I would say you guys are the favorites in the East. I don't know if you feel that way, but do you think you can repeat? Obviously, there hasn't been a repeat champion in quite a long time.
Yeah. As of now, I'm going to say no. I think we have seen 8 champions for a reason. I think it's really hard to get back.
You have to have that perfect health luck, perfect, like, things break your way in the playoffs. But
I do think teams, even the Hawks, the Cavs, the Sixers, they all got better. The Raptors get, pending Kawhi stuff.
See what happens.
Kawhi, like, that's 4 or 5 teams that are immediately much better than they were last year. So again, I think it's difficult to get back, but
all you can ask for is to be in the mix, though, and
for sure,
you guys got a shot. So, well, you mentioned people lost players. You guys lost Mitchell Robinson. Mm-hmm. Did you replace him yet?
It's Drummond.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. How you feeling about that?
Again, I don't think he's the defensive presence, but he does the same. I mean, he gets offensive rebounds the same level, I would say.
Yeah.
And he can make a free throw.
Yeah, that's true.
Even maybe shoot a 3.
It really is fascinating, though. You guys really didn't lose much. Yeah. So there's no reason to think you can't hang in there and compete again. So it'll be fun. And maybe we'll have to do a season preview for all the craziness that happened and stuff like
ridiculous.
that. But right now we just need to bask in the glow that your team is the champions, and that's exciting. So well, cool, man. I have a few games. Like, I can't bring you on without playing a few games. So we're going to talk about your Knicks fandom probably in ways you've never done before. Let's start out with an easy one. Blind rank. I'm going to give you 5 Knicks players. You have to blind rank them, and if you mess up, then I'm just going to consider that terrible player your number 1 player. So let's try this out. Carmelo Anthony.
I'd put him at 4.
4. Okay. Pretty good. Playing it safe. Let's go with OG.
I think I now have to put him at 3.
You're putting OG at 3?
I'll put him at 3.
Okay. Very good. Very good. And who do I have here? Jalen Brunson.
I'd put Brunson at 2.
Ooh, interesting. You're expecting someone, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Let's see if you get him. This might be him. Jeremy Lin.
5, for sure.
I was hoping you had saved high spots for him. And last one is Patrick Ewing.
1.
There you go. Yeah. So what does Brunson have to do to be considered the greatest Knick of all time, do you think?
Honestly, I think it's just doing it for a little bit longer over time.
Okay.
I think he's only been here 4 years. Obviously, a championship speaks for itself, but
do you think most Knicks fans would still consider Ewing the top Knick of all time?
I think so. Maybe if we do well for another couple of years and Brunson's still scoring 25 a game and he's the face of New York, I think it'll change.
It gives him such an advantage that he was the best player on the championship team.
Yeah.
So, if he puts in a few more years, I think he'll climb at the top. All right, so this one is called the name game. I am going to give you a letter, and you have to give me a Knicks player from the last 20 years that either his first or his last name starts with that letter.
Okay.
And if you match the player that I wrote down, then you automatically win the game. The word we're spelling is Brunson. So the first letter is B.
Okay. Man, I'll take Bridges first. Kale.
So it was so hard for the B's not to be like super obvious. I wanted to put Brunson. I wanted to put
Brunson
Bridges.
or Bridges.
I did not. I put
Brogdon.
Andrea Bargnani.
There you go.
So
I could have went with Brogdon. 0 games played. But
yeah, there you go.
He was a Knick.
Now let's try R.
Trying to think. Ron Baker.
I almost put him, but I did not.
Really?
Well, you almost got me. I put Quentin Richardson.
Nice.
Yeah. And this was the toughest one. U. I could only find one player whose first or last name
In 20 years?
In the last 20 years.
I don't know if I'm going to get it then.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect you to. This was like a role player that played for a bunch of different teams. Not a name you think of very often.
Did he play recently? Or
No, it's been a bit.
I probably wouldn't get him.
Beno Udrich. Yeah, I was the only one I could find. In.
I'll do Steve Novak.
I almost put him too. I put Joakim Noah.
Nice. That was a year when we were supposed to be good.
Yeah.
I remember the hype for that.
Yeah.
D Rose, Porzingis, Joakim Noah. Like, we have the best team ever.
They just couldn't stay healthy. All right. S.
I'll do Iman Shumpert.
Ooh, close.
One of my favorite guys.
Close. You mentioned this guy earlier. I put Landry Shamet.
Nice.
I wanted to make sure to have at least one modern guy on.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think you got to go OG, right? OG and Obi.
I didn't want to be too obvious. I wanted to put him, but I didn't want to be obvious. I put Obi Toppin.
Nice.
And last one. This is your last chance to win. In.
I'll do my Frank Ntilikina.
I think you got it right.
Yeah.
Nice. When you mentioned him earlier, I was like, oh, now he has him on the brain. He might get him. Very good. Very good. You win that one. All right. Third game. I'm going to call this one Chalamaybe. Because Timothy Chalamet obviously got a lot of camera time during the playoffs. I think he's a legit fan. Like, there's photos that came out of him.
Yeah, he's been pictures of him at games 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. When he was like 12 years old. Yeah. And so I don't think it was for the camera. I think he's a legit fan. And so I'm saying Chalamaybe because this game is, you're going to tell me whether Timothy Chalamet or other Knicks superfan Ben Stiller are in a movie.
Okay.
So either Timothy
or Ben Stiller.
So first one, Interstellar.
Yes. Timothy.
You know it's Timothy?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you got that. Yeah. How about The Watch?
I don't think I've heard of that.
I tried to pick some obscure movies after Interstellar.
I've never heard of it, so I'm going to say no.
Well, no, one of them is for sure. You have to tell me if it's either Timothy or Ben.
I mean, my guess would be Ben.
You would be correct. It was like him and Vince Vaughn. They did like a neighborhood watch program. It was zany hilarity. How about Happy Gilmore 2?
Dude, I've never seen the first one.
A lot of cameos in that one. It could be either one.
I feel like it'd be Ben Stiller.
You are correct.
Yeah.
He had a funny character in the first one where he played like this nurse at a retirement home. And so he came back for the second one. Man, you're 3 for 3. All right. This was a big movie. Lady Bird.
My guess is Timothy. I feel like I remember seeing that recently.
You know your Knicks fans well. You were 4 for 4. And last one is called Bones and All.
My guess would be Stiller.
Almost had the perfect game.
Man.
Got that one
I've never
wrong.
heard of that one.
4 out of 5. It came out in 2022 starring Timothy Chalamet. Apparently, it was about 2 young hitchhiking cannibals.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know how I missed that one. All right, so 4 out of 5. I still consider you a winner for that game. And then our last game today, I don't know if you played it, but a couple weeks ago, the game 82-0 became super popular.
Yeah.
So I would love to hear your Knicks-only lineup that would give you the best chance of going 82-0.
It's definitely not 82-0. I'll tell you that now. I'll tell you that now.
I think it'd be hard, but let's hear your best shot.
I would go, this is all in prime, obviously. I think it's all more recent guys.
Yeah.
I think Brunson at the 1. Honestly, I'd put OG at the 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'd put Carmelo at the 3. I'd put Cat at the 4. And I'd put Ewing at the 5.
Ooh, I like it.
I think Cat would be a good spacing for a 4.
I think that's a good team. I don't know what 82-0 would say, but I think that's right up there.
I don't think we would have a shot. But
No, but still, that's a legit starting 5. It balances well, mix of offense and defense. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's kind of a different way of doing Mount Rushmore.
For sure.
Well, cool, man. I'm excited for you. Maybe the Giants will win one for you and you'll come back on for that, but I doubt it. But every game I watched during the playoffs, I was just excited for you because I know how it feels. Like that's why you stay up and watch the games. Like for us here on the East Coast, those playoff games end pretty late. And
I was going to bed at, those games were ending at 11:45 midnight.
Yeah, exactly. So
worth it.
It's worth it. And I can't wait for next season, but I thought it was appropriate that we get you back on here so we can celebrate this past season.
It's nice to not be excited for Summer League. It's the first time ever where I'm like, not,
Yeah, you don't care
what's
what
our
happens.
young guy who's in Summer League? We don't have it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I just want our guys to enjoy their championship and come back healthy.
Exactly.
Well, awesome. Thanks for coming back on, and I'm sure we'll have you on again.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Thanks.